Ready, and working!
My name is Miguel Castro, and I play Magnet.
Jacob Smith, and I play Squid.
Brendan Jefferson, and I play X-Ray.
You said?
Yeah.
All right, Shia LaBeouf, and I play Stanley.
Max Cash, and I play Zigzag.
Okay, my name is Byron Cotton, really. You guys already know that. I think I'm the set comedian. I'm a Mac Daddy, you know. And I play Armpit.
I'm Cleo Thomas. I play Zero, a very quiet kid. Zero.
Working with these kids has really been one of the high points of my life as a director because they are raw, they are in some ways untrained, and yet that honesty comes across on screen. They're incorrigible, but they're at the same time very, very sweet in their own way and funny and goofy. And they have some depth to them as characters. Lewis created some really interesting kids in the book that we were able to bring to life.
We handpicked them very carefully, and I thought it was going to be hard to find these delightful characters in the flesh when, in fact, when each of the boys that secured the roles walked into the audition, it was as if they had just walked out of the pages of the book and into our lives. They just showed up, and there was X-Ray, and wow, look at that, it's like really Zigzag.
Don't move. Bam!
I mean, what color was his blood?
I couldn't tell.
Oh, God, man, I wish I'd have seen it. Bang!
Hey, Theodore, is there someplace I can fill my canteen?
My name is not Theodore.
It's Armpit.
There's a water spigot on the wall outside the shower.
Thanks, Armpit.
It's all attitude. I walked out of Sears with a DVD player and a fax machine, and they had the doors wide open for me.
So how did you call?
A dog.
So what are you in for, Twitch?
Joyriding. It's not that I ever want to steal one or nothing, but whenever I walk past a really nice car, I just start to twitch. You think I'm jumpy now? Should have seen me in the convertible Mustang.
26 letters. So we can do 5 letters a day for 4 days, and then 6 letters on the 5th day.
Damn, that's good math, man.
Well, I'm not stupid. I know everyone thinks I am. I just don't like answering stupid questions.
In the book, Stanley's fat. And because of the rigors of production, finding a chubby boy that could then toughen up and lose weight was, you know, virtually impossible to ask of a teenager. The shooting schedule was all over the place. We didn't shoot in continuity, so we just couldn't have done it. So we had to put that aside and just look for a great actor. And Andy said, you know, what I really want is, you know, a young Tom Hanks. I know it's kind of corny to say that, but that's what he wanted. And the tape arrived at my house on a Saturday morning of Shia's audition, and I just called Andy and I said, you not only got a young Tom Hanks, you got a cross between Dustin Hoffman and Tom Hanks.
Reading the script, because things that are in the book aren't in the script, and, you know, things that are in the script aren't in the book. We still stayed true to it, but there were certain things that didn't apply anymore. I read it after I got the role, because, I mean, we jumped right off Even Stevens into the role. And when I read it, it was addicting. And it doesn't start off slow, it starts off quick-paced, and that's what kept me reading, the quick-paced nature of the book.
Boot camp. It's crazy.
We had to go to boot camp because physically, to be in Ridgecrest where we were shooting, where it's 156 degrees ground level in the holes, you got to be in shape. And so they hired our stunt guy, Mr. D.
Mr. D.
Yeah, he was a trainer. He was kind of tough.
Yeah, he was
kind of tough.
He would trick us into, like, we had to pick a number between 1 and 10.
Yeah.
And then he would say, okay, 3. If you say 4, it'd be like 4-minute run, let's go.
Yeah, and then if you say, like, all right, pick a number through 1 to 30. And if you say 2, all right, 2-second rest. And just give you a 2-second rest, and you're like, all right, 50 push-ups, and it'll just be incredible. We have to, it'll be crazy.
We'd have to, like, climb up a rope, and we did shovel drills. And when you're shooting in a place like that, it's almost like Mars, you know? Nobody's used to what's gonna happen. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. There's dust tornadoes going on every 5 minutes. There's whiteouts, like the sand gets so, it gets thrown in the air and then you can't see anything. I've never been on a movie where I've had to rehearse. Like, I'll be rehearsing, and then all of a sudden, a dust tornado will be coming towards our set. Like, you gotta run in a van right away. That's never happened to me where I'm scared for, like, my safety because I'm doing a rehearsal and there's a dust tornado. Never. And that was what this movie was like. A lot of it's real. A lot of it's really happening. The twister that they captured, that was happening behind us. That stuff really happened.
And it was about 120 degrees some days, with winds up to 50 miles an hour sometimes, dust blowing. So these kids literally felt like they were in this camp.
This is a map showing where all of the holes are, and it's not like we could just dig a bunch of holes. For example, in Stanley's tent, there are 7 kids. Stanley comes out to dig his first hole. We see him 5 times during the day. We see him once, they haven't started, and then as the day goes along, the holes get deeper and deeper. Well, this means that we had to have 5 different phases of the holes. We had to dig those 7 holes 5 times. So after each scene, the camera crew could like walk over there, all the kids would be in the same position, but their holes would be a little deeper, and then film them again, and then they'd move again, and we'd film them again.
You done already? Don't you know, man? It's like the fastest digger in the camp.
He's a mole. I think he eats the dirt.
5 foot hole, he's 2 feet tall. How's he do it?
Don't know.
Thank you, boys. You've been a big help.
Holy. Get back.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this was like working with lizards?
Lizards, yeah.
They're so neat. I mean, I don't want to eat them and stuff, man. I'd be hungry and just want to take a bite, just put it on a hot dog bun, just eat a lizard, you know what I'm saying?
Which he tried, by the way.
Stop it.
You go out there, there's lizards all over the place. You don't know if they're gonna attack you or, you know, come up and pee on your shoe. You don't know what they're gonna do because you've never been around them. You know, you don't know how to deal with a lot of stuff because it's never happened.
The movie takes place in Texas, but there are no lizards like this in Texas. So in our research, we found that the Australian bearded dragons gave the producers the look that they wanted for the movie. We used 14 lizards. 4 of them played the principal part. The rest were background atmosphere lizards. In the movie, they're supposed to be poisonous. In reality, they're just the most wonderful reptile that you could get if you were going to have one.
Yeah, they just show on you that, like, I had one sitting right here trying to make out with my ear, kept licking it.
I mean, they're like little hot dogs. Have you seen them?
But, yeah, they were pretty cool.
I didn't know that this was the shout-out segment on the DVD.
It is.
But I just wanted to say, you know, that I think we all learned a lot on this film
from each other.
You know, me being from New York, I learned a lot of stuff from these cats being from LA. Yeah. And I really think that the movie's gonna be good. I really think that Andy, the director, did a really good job on it. Yeah. And you know, I think that
just X out that little part.
You know, I think that everyone did a dope job.
You'd be surprised what you can accomplish once you set your mind to it.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Yes. Oh my God.
Put it down.
Give the big raise the roof. Everybody. Tim Blake Nelson.
What's also great about what Andy Davis did is he had the task of casting 7 mostly unknown young actors. And truly, 7 out of 7 of them are really great kids. They're great guys. I really enjoy hanging out with them. It's wonderful. It's rejuvenating. And I like talking to them. And I know John and Sigourney feel the same way.
I was just so interested in the fact that that's Jon Voight and I'm sitting right here and watching him act is amazing. That's incredible to me. For a kid who came off Disney, to watch Jon Voight sit here and act with you is amazing. You know, it's a dream come true.
I really think I'm saying, you want to run away? Go ahead.
I'm not gonna run away, Mr. Sir.
Good thinking, young Nats. Doesn't nobody run away from here. You know why? We got the only water for 100 miles.
They're all very talented young men, and they're all full of fun, and they have many different talents. All of them are musical, and they're all like comedians, and they have a nice way of dealing with each other, and they're terrific.
They were very good at their jobs. They were very professional, but they still were, underneath it all, boys you could relate to.
Look, I want to give a shout out to Veronique Skiffer and all my people down there, Shanae and Tanisha and Tanisha.
Oh my God! It's gonna be a 45-minute segment on Byron and 5 minutes on the rest of us.
To all my babies back at home. Marie.
You had your chance, dog.
Terrell.
Can we go?
All y'all, for sure.
They stopped rolling 20
Why you hating?
These kids, I'm very impressed with them, and I'm very happy for them because it's been a wonderful experience for all those kids. And I think that this picture will be something they'll be proud of for all of the rest of their careers, wherever they go.
Is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back?
Can I have my letter, please?
Jump for it.
Wait! I'd like to make a special thanks to something in this movie that's helped us all out. Cleo's hair. Because it just shows you to go that if you try real hard, you'll keep on growing.
I'll just thank my mother and my father for being the most brilliant people, and Brianna Lamar, because I love her more than anything in the world.
Oh my God. Who's these guys?
You think I got no brains in my head?
But if you forget to come back for Madame Zeroni, you and your family will be cursed for always and eternity.
See, here's the book as it appears in the stores at this moment in time, a dazzling blend of social commentary, tall tale, and magic realism.
Our daughter fell in love with this book named Holes by Louis Sachar, and she came running up to me and she said, "Mommy, you should play this awful person, the warden in Holes." And I sort of glanced at it and I read her making these boys dig holes in the desert. You know, she stood there, you know, this sort of shapely redhead. And I have to say, it was, I read the book after I was sent the script, but I never forgot. She loved that book. Her whole generation just loves the book. And the fact that they had gone ahead and gotten Louis to write the script, I thought was such a great move.
I moved from San Francisco to Texas in 1991. And the hardest part was just the long, hot summers. You know, you kind of expect it to be hot in July and August. But it's still, and the summers just drag on to September and October, and it's 95 degrees out. It's just really miserable. And when I first started writing Holes, I just was writing about the heat. It was almost like therapy. And I imagined this boot camp for kids where they'd have to dig under the hot sun every day. And the story just kind of grew from that. I had the place before I had any of the characters, but it was never my intention to make it a grim story. It was always going to be a kind of a fun adventure story. So I knew from the beginning that even though they were digging to build character, that there'd be buried treasure and that there'd be an escape and all that. But the story just sort of, you know, just grew as I wrote.
Well, Miss Catherine, I guarantee that roof for 5 years, if there's anything else.
The windows won't open, and the children and I would enjoy a breeze now and then.
I can fix that.
My writing routine's a lot different from when I was writing a novel to writing a screenplay. When I write a novel, I write maybe only for the first draft, maybe an hour, hour and a half a day. And on any day, if somebody asked me, you know, how'd it go today, I probably would have said, oh, nothing. You know, it was a wasted day. I didn't do anything. It took me 1.5 years to write Holes, doing a few pages a day. And somehow all those wasted days, when you put them together, it turns into something. And during that whole time, I never talked to anyone about what I'm working on, never told my wife or my daughter anything about the book. I might say, after 6 months, I might say, I finished the first draft today. And then, after a year and a half, I probably did 5 drafts and finally let someone else see it. With the screenplay, it's a much more collaborative effort.
One of the joys of making the movie to me was working with Louis Sachar, who, originally said, oh gosh, I don't know anything about Hollywood, and I'm afraid I've heard horror stories about what's happened to writers who sell their books to Hollywood filmmakers and producers. And I made a commitment to myself and to Teresa Tucker Davies, who's really responsible for finding the book holes, and Lowell Blank, the producers of the movie, that I was going to make Louis a part of the making of the movie. Because I didn't want to make a movie that was about a wonderfully appreciated book that didn't reflect the book, whose author said, I don't want anything to do with this.
Well, my first touch with the book actually came from Andy Davis, who I'd worked on several movies together with. And when Andy sent me the book, it's so different from everything I've done before. I love the idea of going back and doing a children's story because I have a 4-year-old, and it'd be great actually to come home and say, hey, here's a movie that you can see. And yet it's a book that touches everybody. And forget the fact that it was on the bestseller list for a number of years. Louis Sachar has really hit a nerve in a lot of kids.
So when we met Louis and convinced him that we should be the ones he should sell the rights to the book to, we started looking for a screenwriter. And I said, hold it, I'm a visual director. I was a cameraman. I've worked with a lot of writers on a lot of scripts. I will work with you, and you will write the script. And we will figure out together how to take your story and your characters and your settings and make it into a movie.
Morris Menke is a schmuck.
I'd never been on a movie set before. I've just been totally impressed by everyone, especially Andy Davis. His patience, his control, his ideas, shooting different scenes from different angles and telling each actor how to play it and keeping it all moving. And I don't think I even ever realized what a director did before.
He's up. He goes like this, and the thing spins, right? And as it spins, it goes like this, right? That's really good. Now it's up again, right?
I've never worked with anyone like Andy who took so much responsibility for every single person's welfare. The first day we went out there, he drove us out there. He wanted John and Tim and I to see where it was, where we were going to be shooting, and he gave us all this sunblock and, the talk about the water and the hats and everything. And he was so fatherly to us.
I'm lucky to be the son of an actor.
Did you say Zarodi?
Sure did.
My father, Nate Davis, is actually in the movie. He plays Henry Winkler's father.
Then, John, we'll just play when you're very excited, you know what I mean? I was thinking maybe I drove her.
Excuse me? You did not. I don't let anyone drive my car.
I think maybe I just walked over it.
Having John Voight around, who has a big part in the movie, was very inspirational for both the kids and for John. And I think John has created something which is really quite magical.
Well, Andy and I have seen each other over the years, and we were looking to work together. We talked about it, and then this came up, and he gave me a call, and I'm very happy working with him. He's a wonderful man, Andy, and I think that he's a wonderful filmmaker. This has been a very happy experience for us.
What's not to say about Andy Davis? He's a genius, man. The Fugitive, it's an incredible film, you know what I mean? Every film that he's done has that Andy flavor to it. It's an interesting way of directing, too. He's creating this character with you because it's his baby, and it's your baby. And you guys got to find a way to get through this and make a movie. He expresses himself so well that he gets things done, you know? He talks to the grips like, you know, like they're people, you know? It's not like he's going, oh, handle this, handle this. He knows everything going on.
I think Shia is a tremendously talented actor. And I related to Shia as mature an actor as I've ever worked with. And he brought great things to the part, and it was wonderful working with him.
I always thought of the warden as a strong, quiet person who, instead of yelling and shouting to get people to toe the line, all she has to do is just say, "Excuse me," and everyone just does what she says.
Sigourney is basically a real double-faced character who can seem very sweet and endearing when somebody finds something in the ground that she thinks may relate to the treasure of Kate Barlow.
And Sigourney Weaver just does it perfectly. She just seems to have completely understood that character from the beginning and just seems to have that power. And she's feminine, yet tough, and it's just a great combination.
Oh no, I'm fine. I have plenty.
Excuse me?
I might have drinking some.
Thank you. May I have your canteen, please?
Oh, God.
This is such a wonderful story for kids and grown-ups. And the idea that this boy ends up in this terrible place, and after trying to help a friend and believing in his own instincts, manages to bring this whole group of people out of this terrible situation into a situation of hope.
Seeing the movie being made has just been a great experience. I think that one day I was typing these words, and the next, 3 years later, this whole thing is happening. It's just been amazing.
We're not all going to be together anymore after this.
Everybody dreams of finding the great book to make a movie out of, and I think that I was lucky enough to find it.